Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. You certainly haven't met such horrible neighbors as in our first story, so get ready. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Neighbors tried to sue my family. My dad used to have a landscaping job. He's always been obsessed with plants, and when my family lived together in the house, he had an unbelievable amount of plants outside. One of the plants he had was a big tree that was planted right next to our back fence. On the other side of our fence were our neighbors, a man and his girlfriend who lived in a trailer together, parked on their own land. The tree branches hung over onto the neighbor's side of the fence, and he decided to never cut them back. He was leaving in his car one day, and he ran right into the branches that scratched his car. He immediately tried to blame it on us and told my parents that they were responsible for the getting scratches fixed on his car because it was our tree, even though he decided to not keep it trimmed on his own side. My parents, of course, refused. Even after his car got scratched and he complained about the tree, he still didn't cut the branches. Even when my dad had offered to cut the branches for him, he said no. A week or two passes, and as his girlfriend was walking around their yard, she got her jeans caught on one of the branches by the belt loops and she fell down, sustaining no injuries, but her jeans ripped. My dad offered to buy her a new pair of the same jeans, and she declined. They took my parents to court and tried to sue them for thousands of dollars, even though her jeans cost about $20. Her reason for wanting to sue my parents for so much was the detrimental effect it had on her mental health. Yes, the effect that her jeans ripping had on her mental health. The judge, of course, dismissed the case for how insane it was, and our neighbors just started harassing my parents daily instead. They eventually gave up, but only after accusing my family of hiding aliens in our attic and helping them try to take over the world. They also thought me, about 6, and my brother, about 8, were aliens in disguise and had yelled at me and my brother saying they would call the FBI on us. And our second story. If you're going to litter, try not to litter your old resume. I like to walk in the local forest area and frequently clean up trash on my way, often drug trash. A couple months ago, part of that trash included some 17-year-old kid's resume. Dummy. It had his address on it, local boy. I wrote a quick note on it that if he was stupid enough to leave his address amongst drug trash, the cops would be a-callin'. Then I stuck it in his mailbox, shortly before his mom was likely to come out for the mail. I'm imagining the mom screeches from here. And our next story. It's already been there for months. What's a few more days? Some backstory. My wife and I just moved to a new state where I took a promotion. We didn't have a permanent place to live where we moved, so we stayed with some family that lived in the area until we had a little income history and were able to rent a house big enough for us and our dogs and cats. We finally lucked out and found a perfect house with a big yard, garage, and no breed restrictions on pets. Both of our dogs are on the aggressive breed list, which is the dumbest crap I've ever heard of. Our landlord is a homeowner privately renting out his house. We'll call him Steve. Steve lived in the house until he recently decided to rent it out. We're his first ever tenants. Steve's a very nice guy. He tries to help people however he can. His girlfriend had a friend whose mother went to rehab. They lived together at the time, so both the friend and mom lost their house. Steve offered to let them store all of their stuff in the garage. Mind you, one of my favorite features of the somewhat expensive house was the extra-large, fully finished / insulated garage. It made it worth it. I loved working on my car, woodworking, etc. Their stuff took up the entire thing. I knew the deal with storing these people's stuff. Let's call them CL for Crazy Lady and CLD for Crazy Lady's Daughter. Steve told me that he gave CL 1 week to get her stuff out or it'd be trash. After a little over a week, CL and CLD showed up to collect their items. They showed up with a pickup, only large enough to pick up a quarter of the stuff. I had some work to do, but told Steve I'd hang out and help them load stuff. I know how much it sucks. I've moved halfway across the country and know any help means a lot. They pull up, I greet them. Hi CL and CLD, I'm okay as whatever. Just figured I could help you guys load stuff. My greeting was met with coldness and glares. No response. Okay, we proceed to load things into the truck. I pass the behavior off as their personal stress given their situation. Mom just got out of rehab. They lost their last place. Who knows what their living situation is now? Steve realizes they aren't going to get nearly all their stuff in the truck. He volunteered his own truck to be loaded up. They accept, and we load his truck too. He's slightly in a hurry. Has plans at 5:45 and it was 5 p.m. CL said she had a storage unit nearby to take the stuff to. They get ready to leave and Steve says, "All right, where are we going? I got to drop this off quick." CL says, "Well, you're going to have to wait a bit. I have to get an empty storage unit." It's 5 p.m. in a small town. There aren't really any storage places you can just walk into and get a unit. The owners of the storage units aren't on site at the office or anything. I'd just gotten a storage unit when I moved here, and it took 3 hours with calling a few days ahead and making an appointment. You could see the frustration on Steve's face at this point. He knew he would miss his dinner plans to deal with these ungrateful bees. Just before they left, I asked CL when they planned on coming to get the rest of it. She hit me with, "It's been there for months. What's a few more days?" I wasn't being rude or impatient. I just wanted to make sure I was home when they came back. While they were moving stuff, they set their boxes on top of my toolboxes and some of my boxes of priceless art that I'd not unpacked yet. I knew they had a key that they'd gotten from Steve's girlfriend. They would probably just let themselves in whenever, like they would have done today if Steve hadn't come over to let me know they were on their way. Not to mention my dogs would not be friendly to some strangers walking into the house. I didn't trust them to not steal my crap. But okay, be rude about it. You're losing your free storage, so that's my fault? The next day I was pretty PO'd about how rude they'd been and about the fact that they couldn't bother to tell me when they'd come back for the rest of their stuff. I asked Steve to give me CL's number so I could communicate with her about her picking up the rest of the stuff. I text her, and here's how the exchange went. "Hello, CL, it's OP. Just wondering when you're coming back for the rest so I can make sure I'm home." CL, "Jesus effing C. Can you effing relax?" Me, "I'm sorry, what?" CL, "It's not that much stuff. Steve owns the house. He told me I can keep my stuff there. Now you're complaining about it? I'm just going to leave a few things there. You don't even need that space." Me, "That was different. Steve lived here then. I now pay decent money to rent the place for my family and I, garage included, which was promised to us without other people's crap in it. He told you that you had a week to get your stuff out. It's now been 2 weeks. We've both been more than patient with you. Have your stuff out by Wednesday or it's going in the trash." CL, "We'll see what Steve has to say about it. I'll have your butt evicted if you even touch my stuff." Which is pretty hilarious for her to say because Steve is just as annoyed with CL as I am. He's just putting up with it as well as he is for his girlfriend's sake. I guess we'll see what happens on Wednesday. Update time. So as I said before, I gave CL till Wednesday to pick up her crap, which is today. Steve, the landlord, stopped by yesterday to pick up some mail as he used to live here and hasn't fully switched everything over or forwarded it. He asked me if I minded that he stopped by for his mail. I said I didn't. I told him about my text exchange with CL. He said, "Holy effing crap, really?" He hasn't heard anything from her. Nothing in the way of her coming to him saying how terrible I am, giving her a deadline. He fully supports my decision, however, and agreed to put it in writing that he gave me permission to dispose of any property left on site by such and such time. So I changed the locks. I even bought a home security camera system on Amazon, but it hasn't been delivered yet. The locks come into play major, though. I was pretty explicit with CL and CLD that I want them to let me know when they're coming over. I told them it was so I can be there so my dogs don't get freaked out by strangers, and so I can help them load stuff. Of course, they didn't do that. They showed up today at 3 p.m. while I was at work. How do I know this? My wife had the day off and was at home all day. I asked her to keep the doors locked all day and the dogs in the house, as opposed to the backyard. They tried to unlock the front door, not the garage door, which Steve had told them to do, before the whole episode of them coming over to get their crap and pissing both of us off. They had no reason to come in the front door. They know I have big dogs. They tried anyway. My wife was completely freaked out and called me. I came home ASAP. Before I could make it home, they left, and I worked 3 minutes away from home. When I got there, I called CL. She answered, and I said, "Hello, CL. I understand you tried to come into my house." CL, "Yeah, I came to get my stuff. Wednesday, like you said." Me, "I also asked you to let me know when you were coming over so I could be home. I don't want you just walking into my house whenever you please." CL, You wanted me to come and get my crap, and I tried, and I can't get in the effing house, you bee. If you F with my crap, I'll effing ruin you, etc., etc. I can't fully remember. She was just belligerently cursing at me and threatening me at this point, and I was seeing red. Me. Look, I've tried to be reasonable. I've tried to work with you, but I'm effing done. I changed my lock because I don't effing trust you. I told you not to come over without letting me know first, and you had absolutely no reason to come into my house as opposed to the garage door. You've also threatened me, so now I'm contacting the police about this. Being the dumb butt that I am, I decided to de-escalate the situation instead of making it worse. I moved all her crap to the curb and texted her one last time telling her all her crap was on the curb, and if she wanted it, she had to pick it up before trash day, tomorrow. But she can't come any closer to my house than exactly where the crap is. It's also currently pouring rain. I hope it's all effing ruined. As of this moment, it's still sitting there. I've got my 12-gauge handy in case she tries anything crazy. I've let the local police know. Apparently this is not the first they've heard of CL, but there isn't really anything they can do at the moment outside of occasionally driving by my house while on patrol, unless she tries to come in my front door again. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.